the lady, just pray for me, God, and feel. That is what I want to feel His presence. And when they were singing, worship, I don't know what happened. I just
I was here last 2.5 years ago.
What's your name?
So I'm grateful to God for the gift of this amazing young man. I've been able to raise him as a single parent for 2.5 years without a job. And God has been miraculously providing each and every day. So I'm really grateful. Yes, I'm grateful.
God has been gracious. You remember I shared a testimony kitambo, but imekuwa healing after healing after healing after manifestation. So in short, my nephew was supposed to undergo an operation for a disease that was not, okay, to me it was demonic, because they could not even tell what exactly was wrong with him. And he would lose his manhood. But we prayed, and the next morning I prayed with him, and the next morning when he woke up, swelling in the he was okay. And the other testimony is my sister-in-law has been having ulcers for the longest time. But there's one thing I told her: what does the Lord say? Who are you in Christ? You are a son. And you are from the lineage of Christ. It doesn't matter if your family has been having ulcers or whatever. Your DNA is from God. So as long as the Lord says He healed you 2,000 years ago, you don't even have to pray. It's not even a question, it's something you have. Just say it, and tomorrow wake up, take anything acidic, and you will be fine. And that is what happened. So what I'm telling you guys is, we have the power in our tongue. Just say it, ina happen. Ni kama tu, kuna hizi advertisement zote. You play lotto and you wait to win. Here hakuna kuwait. You say it and it happens.
I'll start by saying finally. I shot it.
Finally?
Yes, finally.
Okay.
Because this is a testimony I was supposed to give last year in July.
Hey.
Yes. But then nimeshindwa kusimama kwa kiti, I come and testify, but I'll say that the Lord has done it in my life. And we had a kesha here, I think it was in June, before the one for elections. So you were here leading the prayers, and then while we were praying, you said, pray for your destiny. Pray that your destiny does not divert and go to somewhere else. And I was seated somewhere there, and I cried and cried, because I was looking for a job. And when I was praying, I told God, this month won't end without me having a job. And in June, I got a job. I went for an interview, and I got a job, what I love doing. I'm a web and graphics designer, and I work at Traffic Microfinance Bank, and I still have my job till.
The last 7 years. for a platform for Liquid Arts Entertainment to be there, and it has been a struggle from approaching guys who can be able to assist us and all that. And I'm here to say that thank you, Jugush, thank you, Mos, so much. For the first time in our 7 years, tunasikika kwa radio. For the first time. We thank God, and I was telling the cast, this is God. Second thing is this: we had booked St. Andrews, and we thought, why don't we go to theater? This is when we were planning. So when we went to theater, when I went to theater, I told them we need a space, and before that I told my guys it is hard, this is very expensive. So I had all the reasons, but when I went to theater, these guys gave us theater, number 1. 2, I had 5,000 bob. Lazima ulipe 30,000. Wakasema leta tu 5,000, tuanze na hiyo. Miss as in quantitative sababu 5,000 pesa kidogo. For them yani, si ndio? And then hiyo ilikuwa 5,000 ni mshwari. But and as I was going to theater, this is God. I knew that they're going to turn me down, but they took it and they said, we trust you, we're going to give you space, usijali, wewe kuja ufanye show. And then they gave us a Friday for free. Last kabisa. So we approached a friend from Nation Media to advertise for us this play. Advertising on paper is 90,000 bob. So akatuambia hii kitu ni 90,000 bob. Tukamwambia okay sawa. Tukarudi, tukaongea, tukamapproach tena, tukamuuliza si tukutume tu image one. And this guy today alituambia we're going to do it for tomorrow and the next day for free.
The main message for the testimony is just trust God with anything. Those things that you think that are not achievable in your eyes, just trust Him, He's going to do it. I'm saying this because I was at a place where I wasn't trusting God for big things. I had really moved backwards in terms of my career and everything. But then God said that He would accelerate me, and I didn't know how He would do it. But then my testimony is that He opened international doors in that situation.
So there's this conference that's called Africa Arise. Yeah? It's a conference that happens in Ethiopia every January, mid-month. That's when it happens, for around 6 days, 7 days. And a friend of mine has been encouraging me for years now to attend the conference. It just ended. So last year, we were trying to compress the testimony. So last year we were having prayers and planning for the year, and one of the questions that she asked me was, do you want to go for Africa Rise? We should go for Africa Rise. That was 2017. At that time it was around January 5th, 6th there. And I told her I don't have money to go and I'm not well planned to go. So this was the second time, or the second year that she's telling me, let's go for Africa Rise in Ethiopia. And I told her 2018 was probably, maybe God willing, I'll join you and come with you. So 2018, December 2017 we get to November, December, she starts calling me, hey, are you thinking about Africa Rise? What are you doing? What are you thinking about it? Have you saved enough money? I tell her, I'm thinking about it, and I think I've been saving. Somehow, by the time it's getting to January, I have no money to go for the conference. I really wanted to go for the conference. So I didn't have any money to go there. The conference was starting 2 weeks ago. And I'd given up on booking, on doing anything. It was on a Saturday night. So a friend of mine had told me, hey, if you want to go for this conference, I'll pay for your air ticket. And I told him, that's okay. I'll start thinking about booking the flight. And then my friend calls me. So she left for Ethiopia a few days before the conference started. And she told me, if you're serious about coming, I can think about getting accommodation for you. And I told her, sawa sawa. I don't know what's wrong with me. I told her I'll think about it and I'll try my best. So Saturday it gets real now on Saturday to the week of the conference. The conference was starting on Wednesday. So on Saturday, I get to Saturday. My boss asked me, are you still going to Ethiopia? Because you say that you're going to Ethiopia, so that we can rearrange the office and see how things are going to work out. And I write an email. That becomes real. I write an email that I'm leaving and I want to go. That Saturday, my friend who had promised to pay air ticket for me calls me and tells me things are thick. Kuna vile hatutaweza kuenda. And then so I called my friend. My friend called Shiko, And I tell her, it looks like I'm not going to Ethiopia after all. And then I shared with Jugosh that I'm going, encouraged him that we go together, so they call me and they ask me, are you sure about the place that you're going to live, where you're going to be living when you go to Ethiopia? And I tell them no. So they've been there before, and they tell me, if you're not sure about going to about where you're going to be sleeping, don't go. Don't even dare to book a flight, because there's so much that happens there. Language barrier, and the country is not very friendly to foreigners. Yeah? So they tell me, just leave it alone. So by the time that I was leaving work on Saturday, I had said, Mimi siendi. So my friend who was in Ethiopia, she texts me and tells me, Ingia WhatsApp haraka. At that time I was heading home. It was around 6 in the evening. I was going home. So akaniambia ingia WhatsApp. So she calls me via WhatsApp and tells me, hey, I want to pay your accommodation for 6 days. Can you please give me your details on your itinerary, how you're going to, when you're going to fly in, what you're going to do, because I'm serious about you coming. Nikamwambia, nakuja Tuesday. So at that time I know I don't have airfare, but I know my accommodation is being sorted. I didn't have the conference fee as well. The whole amount for the conference amounts to around 50,000. It's just near 50,000. And so she tells me, I'm booking accommodation for you, so you better come. Be assured that you're coming. So Mimi, on Saturday, Sunday, I've been praying. I'm in prayer, asking God to provide for me on the airfare thing. And then it gets to Monday. Monday, we normally have rehearsals here. Monday, we normally have rehearsals here. And we had another meeting, for the people who serve in the Bible study, we had another meeting in town. So I try and debate which meeting I'm going to attend, whether I'm going to attend this rehearsal, this meeting, or the meeting for the guys who serve here. I call a friend of mine who serves in the worship team, and I told her, I'm not sure about today, whether I'm going to come today. And she tells me, just listen to God. Whatever you're going to end up with, that's okay. So I end up in the meeting, where in town, and not here. And so before I sit down, Shiko asks me, so are you still going to Ethiopia? And she's the one who had told me, by the way, usiende. Because kama uko sure about things, usiende. So I tell her, I'm not sure because I have accommodation, but I don't have airfare. Akaniambia kuwa serious. Book flight sahi. I pledged 5,000. And then Jugush was there, he says, I pledged 5,000. So it just becomes real, more real that, airfare is coming through. The airfare is around 23,000 going and coming, yeah? So they tell me, look for the other amount, yeah? But first of all, start booking for a flight. So it's on a Monday night, and I'm meant to leave on Tuesday. And so we start looking for a flight. The whole night, so I go home, we try. So in that meeting, I actually didn't sit in the meeting. I was busy trying to book a flight, just sitting next to the guys who were meeting. So we do everything, get to the place where you purchase the ticket, the credit card that we were using refuses. So tukajaribu maraka 10 ikakataa. At that time we were trying Ethiopian Airlines. So we decided to go home and to continue trying to book the flight. When I get home, so normally the conference happens concurrently with African Union Summit. That's they try and get the people who attend for the conference to the African Union breakfast to try and discuss about Africa. So a lot of the seats at that time were unavailable. It gets to around 3 a.m. at night. So mimi nilidecided kulala, nikasema God akisema nitaenda. God akisema sitaenda, I'm still okay. But I decided to pack anyway. So I pack everything, I'm ready. Just tell God, let your will be done. At 3 a.m. she calls me and tells me, hey my friend, we have 3 people awake because of this flight, and I don't think that you're able to go because the only flight that's available for you, it's on It's on Thursday morning, early morning. So I tell her, jaribu tu one last time. Ikiwezekana, that's okay. Ikishindikana, that's okay. So she tries one more time. We find the one seat. And then now we start trying to pay through a credit card. Again, it refuses. So Jugush, at that time, he had told me to call him. It's at 3 a.m. So you guys can make conclusions. How many times I called before he picked up, yeah? I had given up. So I called like 10 times. He didn't pick up. So mimi nikasema yenyewe, hii trip iko na vitu mingi sana ambazo tu zinanionyesha ni relax tu Kenya, niendelee na kazi, tuendelee kujenga nchi. So finally I said, so Shiko tells me, hey, me I'm going to sleep. You have 3 hours to book the flight. To book the flight. If it happens, it's okay. If it doesn't happen, that's still okay. You just be ready for anything. So I say, let me try and call Jugush one last time. He picks up. And we end up paying for a flight that just one seat was left. That was on Wednesday at 7 a.m. In the morning. So God provides for my airfare, God provides for my accommodation. I went there with a conference fee. Now this one, Sasa, what happened was, I didn't have any money there. They will leave a conference fee. So I paid for the conference fee. I was left with around 200 Kenyan shillings, yeah? On Thursday night. So on Thursday night, I didn't have money. And I made calculations. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 200 Kenyan shillings. I'm not going to have any dinner. That's going to be back in. So what happened was when I was at the airport at JKIA, the person who was assisting me asked me, so do you want to check in your luggage, or do you want to use it as your hand luggage? I told him I just want to use it as my hand luggage. I can go with it. Akaniambia, no, just check it in. I don't know how I agreed. So I ended up checking in the luggage, and then the luggage was left in Nairobi.
So hauna nini?
So
hauna essentials.
So we get to Ethiopia. I have no luggage. My luggage is left in Nairobi. I was very mad. On a Thursday night, I go and sleep, just have the normal kawaidati and sleep.
Yani kurarira, yani uko na nini?
Kwanza huko chai ni strungi. So kitisha chai unaletewa true tea. So I had true tea and then went and slept. And then on Wednesday, on Friday, on Friday in the morning, I'm told that my luggage, I'm told that luggage imekuja, so you can go and collect it. That was at around 10 a.m. early in the morning. So I go with some of my friends whose luggage was left in Nairobi. We go and collect it and decide to make an official complaint to the airline. And they tell us that we are very sorry for what you did, but normally we're so sorry that this is your first time that you're on a flight, because if you are a regular customer, what normally happens is they normally, so you normally make a claim, immediately you get to another country, blah, blah, blah. So they were simply telling us, atuwalipi. And then we told them, sawa, we went back to the conference. Third day in the conference, nikiingia ndani, nilikuwa na njaa. A friend of mine, mwenye tulikuwa naye kwa airport, akaniuliza, hey, did you receive any email from K-Krew saying that you go and collect $100? So I tell her that's a lie. I mean, these guys told us they are not giving us any money. Akanionyesha email. So I didn't even care to check my email. I told her, let's go right now. We went, collected the money. So I went without anything, came back with $100 anyway. The money was used in a different way. I tithed, of course, gifted different people who had made the trip possible for me. God provided for me. Something else. This is the last one. Something else that I prayed for. What? Something else that I prayed for since December. Something that God had placed in my heart was about the story of the wineskin, the new wineskin, yeah, from the Bible. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I used to pray about that since December, January. And when I went there, there's a song that I was singing about new wineskin. And the guy who was taking care of me when I was in Ethiopia looked at me and told me, I think so he said, I don't know why you're singing that song, but I think you know, I think God knows the reason why you're in Ethiopia at this time. You're very, so he told me a lot of things that made me feel awkward. He says very favored, so his English is not very, okay, they say, a woman, many kids. Yeah. It's not about that. So he says, listen, English is here. Yeah. So he says, a woman.
Hakuna worship next Tuesday.
He says, a woman, many kids, loves them all, but has a favorite. That's how God views you. You have a favor with God. And for sure, throughout the trip, so many people came through for me. People who I didn't know. People who took care of me. On that Wednesday night, guys fed me. Like I know them. Like I've grown up with them. People came through for me. There's so many stories in that Ethiopian trip, but that's the highlight of the trip. Lesson, trust in God.
Amen.
God will provide for you.
Best year yet.
Best year.